How's everyone doing today? Today is February 21st. We have one more week of February. Happy Black History Month to you. Happy February. Happy almost spring to you. That's awesome that we're almost there. I hope 2021 is treating you better than 2020. Lord knows how much worse can it get. We have 10 great stocks today, and then about 12 extra good ones. Again, if you are a beginner trader, I'm the guy for you. A lot of folks say you can give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed himself forever. I'm here to teach you how to trade stocks the correct way. I am so sick of going onto apps and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube, and all you see is the same 10 tickers. It's so aggravating. So this is for you who actually want to make a side job or an actual real job out of this. Many of the folks who follow me have had mightily larger success. They've gone from red to green. Now, am I hitting 100% every time? Nope. But you can take 10%, 8 times, and double your money. So it comes on what you want to do. So this is great for beginners to learn. Intermediate traders who actually have success, congratulations. If you played CCIV, great. You played NIO, great. You played FSL, great. You want to play PLTR, dope. But you need to diversify. If these last 2 weeks have shown you anything with the red weeks, you need diversification. Some things are going to drop less. Some things are going to drop more. Some things are going to go up. One of those go down. You need to hedge your bets. You need to have diversification. I will show you some great stocks to diversify with. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to subscribe, like, hit the bell notification. It does help me out a lot. It means a lot. I appreciate it. Please do it. If you enjoy this kind of content even more, I'm not going to pull anything off YouTube. Eventually, I will need to kind of reel it in so I have some more free time for myself to focus on other things. But in a few months, I'll probably do Watchlist every other day for you guys. If you want to have access to me every day, plus a newsletter at nighttime, plus live updates, the Discord is down below. It's 220 folks right now. Great people in there, very helpful. Again, there's no pressure. If you want to just have this relationship online with me, awesome, I'm glad to have it. But if you want to have a more in-depth conversation, more folks helping you, you can ask any kind of questions. I'm here to help. We got you. So it's up to you, but check it out. With nothing else, last thing, you're going to benefit highly between every single solitary ticker is a screen. You can pause it, do the charting yourself. I want to see you do supports, resistances, trend lines, any patterns that you see, think about it. Any kind of consolidation that you see, think about it. And then the indicators. I use EMA lines, stochastic RSI, and vortex. I want you to go through it yourself, and then you can watch me do it. If you're close, you'll learn something. It's really good stuff. Otherwise, no further ado, let's get into it. So if you're new, one, I am home. I usually record in my office, but on weekends I record at home. I am making a studio, and so next month hopefully it'll be done. It's gonna just be one of my guest bedrooms that I have here, but it's gonna be a whole studio, better camera work, better everything. Anyone who's watched the ads or gone to the Patreon and helped support this, 100% of what I make will go into the studio next month. And then probably beyond that, a few more times I'll probably reinvest in some stuff, really do some cool things for you guys. So that's why I'm at home today. 2, I do have 3 cats here, and I was out of town all weekend, so if they get a little rowdy, I apologize for the audio if they do get a little crazy, but they look pretty sleepy right now. If you're new, the list above me that says poop right here, this list is our great ones for the day. Below it are our good ones for the day. If you're a beginner, you're going to focus these 10. And again, you should probably take 1 of these, 2 of these, and that's it. If you're an intermediate trader, watch all 20 or so, and then add it to your watch list. I trust you guys to make good decisions. More times than not, the intermediate plays are more profitable, but they're a little bit more volatile. So you may get my biggest runners probably come for these lists, but at the same time, these are more consistent. So just prepare for that. And then lastly, if you're these boxes on the side here, that's only for my Discord members usually, but I did this early last night, so they'll be included today. But don't get used to this. It's nothing that you should really expect from me unless you are part of the group. The gray is a moonshot. You get the exact move you want, hits it out of the park, it's what you want. And these are moonshots, or to the moon, that are reasonable. It could go higher, but these are reasonable areas. Green is your price target. In between the two, this is your holding or waiting zone. So if I were to buy in my loading zone, which is yellow, you buy in here, and it comes up to right about here, sure, you can sell in this divot if you want to, but again, to make it worth your while, it must be in this green area, right? So you can sell for 2, 3, 4%, but we want 5, to 8% on this play, right? And then red is where your stop loss is going to be. Now, I make them wide because if you are a confident buyer, yeah, you can hold Apple till like, 119, 111 if you really wanted to. But a smart trader would probably hold it till about, it breaks this low, this channel's dead. So you would hold it down here. A nervous trader would be like, well, I want a horizontal channel play possibly. This breaks. I'll buy back in. So moonshot, price target, loading zone, stop loss. And then with the lines, the dashed white is where most of the volume happens. The red dashed is where the top 1% to 2% of volume happens. Orange line is resistances. White is support. So there you guys go. So the first stock of the day is Apple, AAPL. Now, I focus mid caps, right? Everyone knows that I like to focus small caps, mid caps, because the whole premise of the show is that I should be a foundation piece or a pillar to your success. You should have other traders, hi kitty, you should have other traders that you go to, other books that you read, other strategies that you implement. I should just be one part of it. And so, can you find that information on Apple almost anywhere? Sure. But when I see a good deal, I call it a good deal, right? So the reason you don't see PLTR right now, you don't see CCIV, you don't see NEO that often, because I expect a competent trader to be like, well, I can get that information from anybody. I'm here to give you what you can't find anywhere else. So Apple is on the list today because it's a great deal. Super obvious uptrend since that March fall down. It's just been cruising back. Now it's gotten, more volatile, some more red in there, but you need red to get a good deal. And so it's super obvious where it is. We could have bought in over here. We've called it a few times at the top line, and it bounces the top line half the time, bottom line half the time. Well, we're down here. So is it the best possible deal? No, you would have gotten it at 127. But are you going to give up a possible 10% move because you lost 2% profit? No, no one would. So you're in the middle. Here's what I would do. You have two options. You can either wait for it to come down farther if you would so choose. What I would do is put a buy target above it, maybe like 130, 131. Put a buy order, like if it goes above it. That way if it shows life tomorrow, you could execute it in and it takes off, right? And if it doesn't, it drops down farther. You just lower that buy target and lower, right? So if you put it like 130, it drops. Put it at 129.5 and so on. That way you're never executed into a bad position. That's my favorite way of doing these things. But obvious uptrend, and you can draw your channel line from any of these bottom points. But again, that's going to determine your resistance trend line, and you can do it from any of these. You could say that this is a more reasonable wedge that's happening. Maybe this is a channel that's happening. You could start here and say maybe it's a broadening wedge. None of us really know. All I know is that it's been uptrending for a year. So let's keep going. Let's keep it going. Right. Good buying area. It's really clear. Let's check the indicators. So what's super cool about my channel is I do not look at the indicators before I pick these. I pick purely off price action. Now that does mean I do sometimes miss 200 EMA bounces or 50 EMA bounces, right? But usually those line up with supports anyways. So you can see what I see as I go through indicators. As you can see, the EMA lines have both been broken, but it does that. See how it breaks the 200 constantly, and it always comes back. So I'm not worried about that. And when it does take over the 50, it makes big moves. If you're Mr. Risky, I don't like to take any kind of risk. Oh, I don't have so much money, which is a very valid point to have. You're going to want to wait for the price to take over both EMA lines, right? You see massive moves, but it takes over both of them, right? It takes over the 50, boom. It takes over the 50 and the 200, boom, right? That's a huge strategy with swing trading. So if you're more risk averse, sure, wait, put on a watch list. Just you can set alerts for crossovers. Price crosses 50 and 200, then you can buy in. All right, but this is a great value nonetheless. So those are going to be some resistances moving forward. And when you take those over again, great stuff. When it gets oversold, what happens? It goes to overbought. Oversold, overbought. Oversold, overbought. Oversold. Will it get overbought soon? Crumpy. Good kitty. So it looks like that's a really good sign for you that maybe it's going to get up to the moonshot area eventually. Stock's a little high, but again, it's pushing life. It may come down. And then you're at the bottom. You're basically bottom up on Vortex. And it looks like it takes about, that's 12 days. That right there was 11 days. So you have about double digit 10, 11 days. And we're at day 11. So I think reversal is happening here soon. AAPL, sure. Blue chip, big cap stock, obviously. But again, is it a good value? Yep. And I just call what the market shows you. Next is AB, Alliance Bernstein Holdings. So again, you can research what they're holding or what their job is. That's a really good idea. But it's a super easy uptrend, right? This is definitely a channel in the way you can tell usually. Duplicate one of the lines you bullet off of. Do these line up? Sure. Is it perfect? Nope. So this is definitely not a perfect channel. That's okay. It may be wedging, but this is definitely a great value. Uptrend nonetheless. We look over here. You can see it's just perfectly coming up, looking really good. Now, is there a chance it's going to get down to 36.22 in this area? Yeah. I think as time goes on, it may converge right here, which is about 4 days away. And again, this is a watch list show. You should be putting this on a watch list to watch and then apply your risk management strategy, your entry strategy should be applied. You shouldn't just do what I do exactly. That never works, right? You should always do what you want to do. I just give you some great foundations to work off of. Now, every single time over here, bottom line, bottom line, bottom line, top, top, top. So we got to see, I think it's a good place to buy in here. But you can see also, these areas kind of correlate well with old resistance and support areas. So I think it may come down to about 36 and then bounce. So if you want to buy in sooner, well, you're going to risk more money, right? So I think you should give it a day or two. Watch Watchlist definitely downtrending. It got hit because of earnings. And again, dividends are coming. You see this little green dot. What happens with dividends, right? Went down and up. Dividends, it went up. Over here, possibly going to go up. Now, dividends usually do good because folks get paid out, so they usually buy more. It's a good sign of strength and good thing of health. So dividends right here is a good sign, and it survived earnings pretty well. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. So it's riding the 50. It breaks it to come back, especially in the subtrend. See, it breaks it, comes back, breaks it, comes back, breaks it, and comes back. Broke it, so we got to see some life, right? So I wouldn't buy in until I see a little bit of green, just because if this does collapse on you, let's say you do some of your own due diligence, which you should always do, and it says that the earnings are terrible, this holdings company is going down, you shouldn't buy until you see some life, right? But, you know, it bounced up to 200 occasionally, so it may come down to, again, about 36.20. They may get closer together. RSI is low. Is it oversold? No, but you need to be dynamic. Look at where the cursor is. You see how if we look over to the right, because everything on the left of it is still important, but let's look to where this big uptrend started. Where does it get down to? Okay, we look down right here. It gets down to about 31, 31, and where are we at right now? 37, right? It's at 40 now, but it was at 37, right? So we're right where we wanted to be. It doesn't need to be under 30 every time to be a good deal. Stochastic is stupid low. That's a great sign. And then Vortex, again, doesn't stay red too long. See how the red's above it for pretty short periods of time? Well, but this happened, so I think we may see, again, 3 to 4 days more until this really turns around. So again, don't be Mr. Pull the gun. And of course, you can wait till it crosses the 50 again. But this is still a great setup nonetheless. AB, I like it a lot. Now, ACB is still a great setup. Aurora Cannabis. Everyone talks about Sundial and all that, which is a great, it's great. I think it's a good pickup at a good deal. You could have gotten at, the same time Sundial went up 100%. This also went up 79%. It's a little bit less volatile and has more clear picture than Sundial, in my opinion. It comes down to this area of support and does really well. Now, here's the thing, though. Let's zoom in. Here's the thing, though. We're not there yet. It may be another day or two, but you're risking at least 6, 7, 8%. Really, you're really going to risk a lot to take on this position. But again, we don't play dollar signs. We play risk versus reward. You're risking 6%. A modest move will get you 12 to 15%. Right. A good move will get you 25, 30%. So we're still doing a 3 to 1, 4 to 1 kind of risk management policy here. And not to mention that alone, it's a cannabis stock. And cannabis stocks can be pumped up by a bunch of idiots who are like, oh, dude, sick, 420. Well, as dumb as they sound, they're actually kind of right with Biden being president. And if they do pass legal marijuana across the country to decriminalize it, doesn't matter if Aurora has any stake in it. Folks are going to buy whatever they can find. So it's a good play, a little bit safer than Sundial. You do have a head and shoulders kind of forming, but unless it breaks beneath 1103, I'm not worried about that, and you'd be out way before that. So it's a good pickup. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. So it's kind of hard to see because it's, a cheaper stock, but you can see the 200 looks to be over there. We're going to clear drawing set. It's on the 200. See that? Really good play. That's convergence in action, 200 plus a support area and channel. That's convergence in action right there, big fella. Looking really good. RSI is low. It could be oversold. I'd rather it be oversold, but it's uptrending. You're not going to get everything all the time. You need to weigh price action versus indicators. I will take good price action and 200 EMA line over the extra 5 or 6 points of RSI. But it's super low still, right? Last time I did this, you made money. Last time you made money. So every time it gets down here, you made money. It's a great sign. Stock is still, it could be lower, but it was just super low and showing life. You need to see it pick up eventually, so that's okay. And then Vortex is low, and it's been downtrending technically for 7 days. This last one down here was 4 days. This one over here was 6 days. This one over here, 5, and then so you're looking at about 6-8 days of downtrending. Looks like it's showing some life here. It's a great sign. So ACB, if you want to wait for it to confirm over the 50, great. If you think it's a good value now, I definitely buy in. It's a great pickup nonetheless. Next is ADC. ADC is tricky, not because it's a hard play to read, but where's it going to reverse at? So we have multiple options. We have it. It's definitely, this is earnings. It just went up and now it's going down. Last time it hit earnings, it went down to about 61.30. Last time it hit earnings, 61.80. So again, I could see this possibly going down to 61.80s, whatever it may be. So do I see this channel breaking? No. You look at the year long, it's been really going. Now, is this going to last forever? No, absolutely not. So I would not get comfortable thinking it's going to last forever. But you're definitely in an area of consolidation. It had previous highs before that huge sell-off because of COVID. It was on the way up. It looked really good. You could have easily bought it on the 1 year chart and made a bunch of money on this play, right? So ADC definitely has histories of being higher, which is great. So what are you going to risk? You want to buy in now and not miss this move? Because you'll easily make 5-10% easy on a good full move here, but you're also going to be risking an extra 2 or 3%. What I would do, give it Monday, see what it does. But if it does drop down farther, because it does consolidate a lot this time. It does consolidate a lot. It just had earnings. When it had earnings, it plopped down. And if you can get down to 62.75 where the bottom is the loading zone, and even buy in this area, this gap, I mean, you can buy anywhere in here and be fine. If you can buy anywhere here, that's great. So I'd give it a day or two, see what it's going to do. But this channel is also very strong. I like it a lot. Great beginner stock. You're not going to make a butt ton of money, but you're not going to lose your shirt off your back. All right, great pickup. Let's check the indicators. So with horizontal plays, the EMA lines definitely have strength, but they're not as important as you're buying in because there are going to be resistances going forward, and then there'll be supports going forward once you break above those. And again, you don't want to wait for a crossover because then you're going to make 2 or 3%. Sure, it's much less risky, but you're not going to even. Why would you aim for 3% in a green market like we have on a great big pullback week to then get 3%? It's not really a good idea. You want to get value with this kind of play. RSI does get oversold, earnings, and again over here, earnings. So I would definitely wait a day or two. Let's see what's going to do. Stock is low, Vortex is super low. Everything points to a reversal happening. When's it going to happen? You don't want to miss the move because the thing does take off pretty quickly, but ADC is a great pickup nonetheless. AQST. By God, I wish I had seen it a little bit earlier. This is a beautiful triangle. You don't get these very often. That's gorgeous. Now, if we would have seen it down here, we would have saved ourselves 7%. And I'm nervous to buy in at this moment. The reason is it's a strong resistance and it does consolidate. See how it came in here 3 or 4 times? See how it came in here 3 or 4 times? Here it just took off. So this again comes down to your risk management strategy. I think eventually, if you bought it, even right here, you may be red for a few days if you were to buy in and wait. I think you're going to end up green regardless just because of the price action. But, you're risking almost 10%, 15% to buy in here. So I don't think this is a good play for Monday. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 play. Definitely a 10 out of 10 play if it comes down to this channel area again, for sure. Right here, I want to wait. Now, if it breaks above this resistance here, yeah, that's going to be your signal to go long. I'm sure there's EMA lines in play, but if it goes above this line, around this 580, tests it and it takes off, yeah, you definitely want to buy in. You could scalp this, day trade this really easily, even hold and swing it really well. But if you're risk averted, you need to wait. You need to be a good boy or good girl. Let it come down to 530s, buy in there, mitigate your risk. But AQST, given this price action, this gorgeous triangle, if this does come down into the 530s or breaks above this resistance, I'm going to throw the house at it. It's going to be a great pickup. Let's check the indicators. So there's going to be your signal, right? See how it majorly respects the 50 and it majorly respects the 200. And once it gets above both these, it makes massive runs. If you are, and where I am now, that's going to be your play. The resistance does matter, but if it breaks above the 50, that's a good sign to go along. Now again, you see how it does it over here and doesn't break above it, but over here where it did and showed some big life and it retested it, See this big red candle? That's a retest, right? It came through, retested it. You know, it got overdone. It came down, and then folks took off again. So that's gonna be your play. Let it break the 50. It'll probably break both at the same time. Let them break it, retest, and then take off. So this would be good. This would be good the whole week if that happens. Otherwise, let it come back down to value. You know, it was oversold. Stock's a little bit high. Vortex is low. It's a great pickup. It just is, given the cheap price and the volatility, it could ruin your whole week. If we have a red day tomorrow, another red week, you don't want to get caught with this one. So give it a few days, but AQST is a great pickup. So we've called CNC before. It's been on my secondary list, and it's been on my main one once or twice. We have a dead man zone. This is a low volume area. You don't want to buy in here, and you don't want to hold, or you don't want to. If you want to wait if it comes into this area, but we're right where we want to be. Right in the middle of our buying zone. It could be a tad bit lower, 1.5%. At most, you're risking 3 or 4%, but you can easily make 4, 5, 6, easily 10 or 15% in a full move. It's a really good looking channel. It's always smart to zoom out and see again. It's just a nice looking channel. It has higher lows, looking pretty good here. You have definitely, a resistance line here. You could easily take this and be like, whoa, it kind of looks like a triangle, doesn't it? Well, a little bit. But we're not really worried about getting up to here and be like, oh man, 68, 69. We want to get into the 64, 65s, get in, get out, and put our money elsewhere. But really easy looking loading zone. It could get lower, but again, are you wanting to miss a easy 4 or 5% move to save a percent? Not really. So CNC, a great pickup. Let's check the indicators. And the 50 is going to be what you want to wait for if you're Mr. Scaredy Cat, Mrs. Scaredy Cat at risk. Let it break the 50. It's going to break it. What's it going to do? Retest it. It's going to break it. What's it going to do? Retest it. So you can buy right at the 50, and if it breaks down, just sell it. You take a small loss. That's cool. And once it breaks to 200, you get these massive, massive hike ups. So that's going to be a huge deal if you can get in at a good value or get in right when that happens. RSI could be a tad bit lower, but it's low. Stock is low. Vortex is low. Again, great setup. It just is, will it reverse here? Will it consolidate here? Is this going to be worth your time versus other stocks? Yeah, this is definitely a good beginner stock, intermediate stock. If you want to go play some high volatility, big old spooky plays, and put 10% of your account here or different stocks like this, it moves up 5 or 6%, but you lose 20 in a big stock. Well, it hurts a little bit less. So CNC is a great pickup nonetheless. It's really good. Next is ENR. I really like the setup a lot because of the risk management. It's very low risk, but it's very high reward. So it's super obvious what's going on here. It's definitely up channeling, and you could take these, duplicate as always duplicate stuff to see what's up. Come up here and see these line up pretty well. Is it perfect? No, it never is going to be that perfect, right? But we can see a channel is kind of developing here in some way, shape, or form. And we're right here at the bottom of our channel. Support's really close. Now these are support areas. You can easily be like, well, I think it's actually up here and it broke. Okay, then you just wait, right? But I think it's down here in this area. A lot of price action stopped here. This kind of stopped here. That's got close. Could be a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but we're going to lower it because we want to get as close to this as possible, right? With the red market happening, let's try and, we want value more than anything. So this does break down. Okay, you lost 2.5%. Then we're going to buy back in closer to 41. But this thing does take off. A moonshot is like north of 10. A good one's north of 6 or 7%. So you're risking 1 or 2% for 6 or 7. That's a great setup. A lot of things are going in your favor. Super nice uptrend right here. And again, you got to be like, well, this is a head and shoulders kind of, right? But that's definitely, it has to break down to where the bottom of this is, and that's kind of why we plan it like this. Right? If it does come down and breaks it hard, well, let's buy in down here and make our money back. No big deal. Dividends are coming. Dividends do good for stocks usually. See how dividends hit and went up? See how dividends hit and it went up? Well, here they come again. Folks are about to get paid. They're about to be happy. ENR is great. Let's check the indicators. So it just broke the 200. It does that and it comes back. So it's definitely downtrending over here. Definitely uptrending. Now we did peak out over here. You see how we peaked out? It came down. This could be the start of a downtrend, or it could be the continuation. We don't know yet. But again, we're at a really good area of value. It's low risk, and that's what we want more than anything. So if it breaks 200, comes back, that could be your signal to go long. If you want to wait for both, that's fine too. I like to get areas of value more than I do confirmation personally. On this uptrend, it reverses here. That's great. Stochastic is low. That's great. And then Vortex is kind of consolidating. It could be a little bit lower. It just was. And then if it can go green tomorrow, that's also great. So Energizer, ENR, a great pickup nonetheless. Next is SIRI, Sirius XM Holdings. That's the radio station, I assume. Now this is a trend line that's hit twice, and now it's living for a third time. We need 3 times to be a trend. Any doofus can be like, well, let's take this line and go over here, and we can see it's actually trending. No, it needs to hit 3 times, right? So we don't have that quite yet. This is tentative, but it's such a good value. I'm okay rolling with it. Now we're right where we want to be. How do these reversals happen? You may be asking. Look at this. Low and slow. Slow. Right here. Bowling, cup and handle, right? Look at this. Slow reversal, right? What's happening here? Slow reversal. I mean, right at the bottom of this apex, you know, the right bottom of the trough here, and this is where you want to see it kind of start to go green. You want to see maybe a day or two green first, but we can see some green, easily going to make 3, 5, 10%. On a full good move, 12 or so. But what are you risking here? 2.5. So you're not risking much room at all. It does have a history of consolidating here, and it's consolidating now, so you may get caught holding for a few days. You shouldn't freak out. All that means is that you just have less work to do, and you should just watch your stuff and chill out, right? So really good area of support. You know, I'm sure EMA lines are probably here somewhere, but again, you know, this possible trend line should be really good for us. Let's check the indicators. So it's a slightly hard to see here, but we can see it's below both. It's trying to break the 50. Even I, Mr. Good Value, may wait for it to take over the 50 at least. It seems to be doing its best right now. Once it takes the 50 and the 200s, then when you get the big moves, but 50 is a great confirmation nonetheless. If you're a crossover kind of guy, wait. You know, RSI is in the middle, stock's in the middle, Vortex in the middle. It's definitely consolidating for something. I'm hoping it gets a big move up, but very low risk. Good medium reward. Again, great beginner stock. I like it a lot. SIRI, SIRI, great pickup. Next is STMP, Stamps.com, another big company, right? But again, I just call what I see. You know, there's definitely some small companies in here and some small caps, but you know, plenty of big companies need some love too sometimes. It just had earnings. What do I do? Shit the bed. What happens after it shits the bed? It comes back. So this right here, crapped the bed, and it took about 18 days to reverse. Here it crapped the bed, took about 37 days to reverse. It just crapped the bed. We're in day 6. So we have this week to watch it. Now, it consolidates before it reverses. See this? Consolidate. It made a little bull flag, right? It consolidated, took off. It consolidated. It consolidated. So this is definitely not one you should be buying tomorrow. You want to just watch it. This is a great watch list stock. It's $200, right? So some of you can only buy one share anyways, so it's not really getting worth it. But let it consolidate. If it kind of comes down and starts doing a little bit of like a bowl shape, like a little baby cup and handle, then it gets to the bottom here, definitely buy it. You can make 25, 30% easy, and $200, 20% of that, $40, just because you're patient, is a great setup. So again, it's definitely big. Oh, it's definitely downtrending. Ooh, doop, doop, doop. No, not really. It's just channeling horizontally. We want to get in maybe 173 if it gets really bad, but I can see reversing anywhere in here right now, right? Good setup nonetheless. Let's check the indicators. All I can hear is cats eating dry food. That's fun. So again, EMA lines will be resistances moving forward. This is definitely not a crossover kind of play. Not right now, at least. If you can get it, you know, a few weeks when this happens, shout out to you. RSI is oversold. You would have made money eventually. Every time it was oversold. Now over here is a little bit risky, but you also would have had a 23% pop. So that's pretty toy. That's pretty good. Stocks love, again, I think it's going to reverse eventually, but opportunity cost dictates and trade-offs dictate. Is this the best possible place for your money tomorrow? No. But is it the best possible place eventually? Yeah, I think with 20-30% upside for the stock, eventually, for sure. STMP, watchlist it. And next is WPM. This is a lot like CRK, which it left us. I mean, I bought in. I always buy CRK at this line, and I've won multiple times, and now I'm up a good, 39%. What's up? CGen is very similar. You see how CGen is very similar? Well, I want this to be the next one. So a little bit more expensive, but this is a great area to buy into. Look at the 1 year. All right, it does good. It does work here. 10 years, I'm sure may look, yeah. See how it consolidates sideways. I'm sure there's some news that came out a few years ago that did this, but it's a great value. This channel's all about value. We can see right here, if it dies on us tomorrow, all right, 4 to 5%, but you can easily make 10, 15, or 20% on a good move. And it's a really good stock to watch because look at this. This was our downtrend. It's been broken. It became a broadening wedge. See how it became broader? This is now broken. And now you have a very solid support area. Over here, what's this? Is that a possible higher low? It's something. It's not a lot, but it's something. If it goes green tomorrow, definitely I'd put a buy order above it. You know, if it does dip down, just lower that buy order. Let it work. Let it consolidate. See how it consolidates? Doop, 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 takes off. Consolidates. Doop, 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 takes off. Consolidates. Doop, 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 takes off. So we want to catch that takeoff. It does go up very quickly. You miss this whole candle, it's on you. But you have easily 5, 10, 15% to gain, risking 4 or 5, no big deal. Let's check the indicators. So it's trying to break the 200. Even when it breaks the 50, you get some good price action. Now the issue with that is that you're going to give up a lot of your risk versus reward to have that confirmation with this kind of play. So it's not a bad idea, but it's definitely, if you're a crossover kind of person, it could be a bit riskier. When it gets oversold, you make money every single time. And we got oversold, so it's a great sign nonetheless. Stock love, Vortex though. Fantastic 10 out of 10 setup. It just comes down to where you think it's going to reverse at and what's your risk management policy. Make sure you have a written plan for this. We in precious metals, I like it a lot. So if you're a beginner trader, please stop the video. I know you're going to miss my face and my strawberry red hair and my great sense of humor. You know, my cats who are so loud at home sometimes. Just kidding. But the intermediate plays, those are definitely more reserved for intermediate traders. These are ones that are, again, more profitable sometimes, but you're not prepared yet. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it as your mentor, as someone who's honest with what's going on. We've had 2 red weeks. I don't want you to get involved with 20 stocks tomorrow. You're like, I'm ready to go on Monday, and then the whole market shits the bed. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think tomorrow may be a good horizontal day, maybe like a green morning, red afternoon kind of setup that we've been seeing. But I don't want you to get over your head and lose confidence. So again, please focus the first 10. If you want to watch for the entertainment purposes and kind of learn, great. I think these are great learning opportunities as well. But do not get over your head, please. So intermediate traders, advanced traders, let's check these out. If you are new here, you're going to see that I don't turn off indicators during the intermediate section just because I want to go through these as quickly as possible. I trust you. See the ticker and do it right the first time, right? I trust y'all. CNR, easy uptrend. Now, is it where I want it to be? Nope, but it's reversing here the support area. It does have lower highs, right? So you gotta see if it's gonna break these downtrends. Definitely draw the downtrend line. If it breaks above that, definitely go long. It's trying to break the 50. If it can do that, you should go long, but otherwise you wanna wait for it to be at value. It comes down to what you like, value or crossovers. If you like crossovers, great, give it a day or two, and then make sure it breaks. Make sure you have your goals set accordingly with this downtrend. So you may only see 4 or 5% on this one, but if it breaks above it, it's gonna go stupid for sure. So CNR, a good setup if you're experienced. MRSN is beautiful if it was $1 cheaper. So this may be one that I make a main focus tomorrow or Tuesday. If it can come down, 5 or 6%, it's gonna be glorious. So this is definitely one I want you to watch as an intermediate trader, but I don't want you to buy quite yet. This is definitely not at value, and it's definitely not close enough to cross over yet. So let's give it a day or two, but watch this if you're an intermediate trader. I trust you to play this one correctly when the time is right. We've called COGT before. It's getting right down into value. The reason I'm not going to put it in the main one is just because we talked about before, and it's not quite there yet. I need $8.90. I need it to be a tad bit lower. If it reverses and I miss it, shit. All right, whatever, dude. But I don't, in this kind of market, I do not risk more than I have to risk. You can easily wait for a crossover. You see how one breaks the 50 and the 200, 250, breaks it, 30% day. Broke it again, 19% day. Did it again. So this has plenty of value when it does crossover. So again, you can play the value or the crossover. It's not there yet. Okay, it's not where I want it. I want it to be a little bit lower. That's what, if you are sold, you want to risk, the 8%, 9% if it does crap the bed, sure, but you can easily make 40, 50% with this. So again, great setup. It just needs another day for me personally. This is one of our unsung heroes, KTRA, sorry. I call it over here, and a lot of folks are happy with it. If you held, you would have been up 160%. So that's pretty neato. If you like this channel or whatever, you should remember this one. The 50 EMA is the bounce play right here, and this is not a strong trend line. It's only bouncing up to 50. Now, is that a very viable play? Yeah, 50 EMA bounces are huge. But I am also not going to be shocked if it dies, if it's a red day and hits the 200. If this comes down to here, it's like 190, hell yeah, I'm going to buy in again, right? Because then I can mitigate my risk. But this up here, a little risky until I see some green. You see how the greens has like 4 or 5 in a row, easy. If I see 1 or 2 in a row, yeah, I'll buy in, put a tight stop loss. But KTRA, it's at a good value in everything. It's consolidating. A big move is coming. I just wanted it to be green. If it can establish itself right here at 225 and go long, great setup. MDT is definitely an A1 setup in a few days. It just needs another little baby bit to come down. And what's right in the corner? Earnings. Now, this is why I hate earnings season, is that if this wasn't here, this would be a 10 out of 10 because it comes down maybe a little bit farther, 1 or 2%. Easily can make 20 or 30% on a long-term hold, 10, 15% on a short-term hold. But this right here makes me extremely nervous. Last time it had earnings, it went up. Last time it had earnings, it went up and they came down. Dividends went green, dividends went green. So I'm not shocked if this does go up from here. But again, given the history of earnings this month, I'm a little bit hesitant. Even though everything else says buy for sure, I want to see some green. Maybe I'll buy on earnings day with a very tight stop loss, lose 1% or 2%. And break my own rule a little bit just because of the history. But again, 10 out of 10 minus earnings. ISRG is a 10 out of 10 play as well, but it's $750. So some of y'all with $1,000 accounts, this makes absolutely no sense to buy. But for those who watch me who actually have money and you want easy setups, yeah, here you go. This is the easiest play of the night. It's almost like, I think it's almost a guaranteed reverse. I use almost because I don't want to get sued. It's super low on everything. If you see some green, definitely go long. It's going to consolidate here for a few days, but it can easily make 9, 10%. If it makes 10%, you buy 5 of these, you're going to make like $400, right? Which is pretty sick. So it's pretty good, really consistent. It's just so expensive that I don't think folks are going to want to buy it. But for those who are like, I want expensive stocks, welp, here you go. Next is net. This is also a fantastic setup. The issue with net is I just had earnings and it's not into my channel. Now this is all my preference. You can have your channel a little bit higher. You could easily be like, well, when I drew it, it's like this. That's fine. It's your life, right? If you want to draw like that, dope. I love it. For me, I needed to come down a tad bit farther. Am I being a little bit picky? Yes, but the issue is, with the way the market's been last 2 weeks, I am being extremely cautious compared to a lot of people. I'm not being the market's crashing guy, but I'm not being buy the dip kind of guy. I'm being reasonable and realistic. I wanted to be $80, $79. Tap the 200 again. That gives us our maximum profit, our minimum risk. That's how I played the game, right? And if this does break the 50 and goes long, hell yeah, dude. If it breaks the 50, you're making at least 5% easy in a day. Go for it. But until that happens, I'd wait. Run is also very similar to net. See how it's right above it? That pullback was really good for the finding value, but it's not great seeing as it's not where I want it to be. I need maybe, $3 or $4 less for a good value. It does get to the bottom occasionally, but the top is also fine. But here we go. There's earnings. I think it's going to be I think they're going to do just fine. But again, folks, they get scared. Even over here, this earnings was a 12% drop. This earnings was a huge run up, and then it dropped off 15%. So I'm a bit nervous. Now, can we play the run up if it starts going crazy? Yeah, dude, get your run up in and then sell it. So I need a few dollars off, or I need some confirmation that's gonna run before earnings. But barring this, 10 out of 10. But let's just give it a day and see what it's gonna do. Next is SA. It's a great horizontal play, but it's not at value. Now, do I think this support's super strong and it's holding? Yeah, that's great. But I also want to see it come down a bit farther. Every time it's made big moves, it has gotten on at 1747. It's only a dollar difference. But it is, in fact, close to being 4% extra risk, which in this market I don't want to give up. This trend line is not strong. It's hit once, which is, again, it's not the best trend line you want to see. Twice and then maybe 3 times. So again, it's strong. It's not great. The reversals do bowl. See how it kind of does like a lot of little cup and handles in here? And see how it's kind of, if it goes green and breaks the 50, yeah, dude, go for it. That's going to be great. But until it gets lower or it does crossover, I'm going to wait. Next is Target. Target is a lot like cat, or they call it gato. See how this is what I do in my own time. You see how it's going off the 200 perfectly? It looks really good. All right, it's doing that, but it's not in value. So it's bumping off the 50. It's great, but I need either a crossover or value. And right now we're not at value, and it's above all the lines. It's got exhausted. If this does come down, to 183, and that holds a 200, hell yeah, man, they were making 10% easy on a full move. But, give it a day or two, see what the week's going to be like. Until this gets down, I would wait. But again, I trust you if you see a good green day tomorrow. Yeah, definitely go in. It's a good pickup. Last is SDC. I love this stock so much when it is at my channel to buy in. It's never failed me. It's been 4 or 5 good times we've been watching it, having some great balances and stuff. But I am not going to overpay for any stock regardless of what my emotions say. My emotions say this is a great stock buy in because it's right in this consolidation area. It always consolidates right about here. It's right there. But given this history of this week and the week before, I'm going to wait. So if it does come down, a little bit of red morning, then that's very possible. See how this thing reverses? One candle. One candle. One candle. So this thing does come down here to reverse. If this, I'm going to set alert right now, live on air. Thing gets below 1162. So if tomorrow, the next day, and this does get down here, I'm going to buy in instantly. And I'm going to set I'll update the folks on Discord, right? But this needs to be in the channel or it needs to break the 200. You got to choose. Crossover value. This is definitely in value. But again, I'm not going to take on 4 extra % of risk in this kind of market. But STC going forward is a great pickup. And there you guys have it, 10 great stocks and looks like about 10 extra really good stocks. Now, I can't predict the future. I can check in the morning for my Discord folks and see what's going to be like. We're going to hopefully have some green this week. Now, Monday through Thursday was kind of rough unless you were in those hype stocks, which actually paid off. But a lot of folks I've been watching have gotten burned. Bag holding, RIP to you. If you succeeded, dope. I'm hoping, because Friday was green, we kind of carry the momentum for at least a green Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe Thursday and Friday kind of pull back. We're going to see. But I hope tomorrow's a green day. We have a lot of good stocks to go off of great value. Again, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you really like the content, check out the Discord. It's available. I'm thinking at 300 it's going to be capped off. And then if you missed it, you missed it. And then when I can get enough folks to make a second one and separate the 2 groups so it's not overcomplicated, over communication, I can manage both of them. You get the same experience in both. It's just not so cluttered. That's probably going to be the goal. So again, don't rush over there. And no one should be like, oh, Jesus, and go for it now, right? But if you like what you like, and you like me, check it out. Otherwise, it's all good to go. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch list. I appreciate it. If you need anything, please comment down below. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.